So this episode actually starts off the arc that the Avatar state is actually a problem for Aang and not a positive. In any other show, a god mode would be a fix-all solution, but here Aang really struggles with the sense of self when it comes to using it. His dreams literally depict him watching the Avatar state do his thing while he's helpless to watch, as if it's a totally different person than himself. That's a really cool angle to use. This dream sequence also serves as a little clip show to remind us of Book 1. We see the Southern Air Temple, Roku's Temple, and the North Pole.
Aang, these scrolls will help you master waterbending.
Holy shit, there's at least 5 scrolls in there. If they go at 200 gold a pop, Paku just handed these kids a fortune.
Katara, I want you to have this. This amulet contains water from the Spirit Oasis. Aang, these scrolls will help you master waterbending. Sokka, take care, son. General Fong will provide you with an escort to Omashu. There you'll be safe to begin your earthbending training with King Bumi.
Cool to know that Paku and Bumi are actually personal friends looking back. Little retroactive through lines like that are always super fun.
3 years ago today, I was banished. I lost it all. I want it back. I want the Avatar. I want my honor, my throne. I want my father not to think I'm worthless.
Yeah, you're right, Zuko. This is a brand new season. We probably should give the audience a little refresher, huh? Remember all the way back in episode 1 when I wouldn't shut up about character introductions?
You may have mixed feelings about attacking members of the royal family. I understand. But I assure you, if you hesitate, I will not hesitate to bring you down. Well then, maybe you should worry less about the Tides, who've already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me, who's still mulling it over.
Well, we finally get to do Azula. Hers is great too. In only a few lines we see that she's precise, commanding, and demands respect. I swear, if this show does anything right, it's the first few lines each character speaks. Pretty cool that you can actually see the fireworks flying up here and it's not just animated explosions out of nowhere.
Avatar, you're ready to face the Fire Lord now.
What? No, I'm not.
Why? With the kind of power he possesses, power enough to destroy hundreds of battleships in a matter of minutes, he could defeat the Fire Lord now!
Fong isn't without a point here, honestly. I don't think Aang could take on the entire Fire Nation military, but if they got him close enough, Primal Avatar State Aang would ragdoll Ozai no problem. I think this actual plan has merit, even though Fong goes about it the wrong way.
Sir, the thing is, Aang can only do those things when he's in the Avatar state.
You ever notice how it's not called the Avatar State until this episode? It doesn't really have a name up until now. It was just Aang's really not that happy with everything that's going on right now kind of mode.
May I show you something? That's the infirmary, and those soldiers are the lucky ones. They came back.
Season 2 really steps it up when it comes to the adult themes. Like, Jesus Christ, this dude is guilt-tripping Aang into fighting for him because people are out there fighting and dying while he's just screwing around learning the elements at a leisurely pace. Man, what other kid's show has disfigured soldiers returning from battle?
Every day the Fire Nation takes lives. People are dying, Aang. You could end it, now. Think about it.
I love how Fong doesn't treat Aang like a child either. He doesn't talk down to him even once. He talks to him like a peer. That's a running theme as Aang takes on more and more responsibilities as the Avatar. Similar to the ramping up of adult themes, we're shown Azula pushing the knowledge that the audience has of bending. This feels like a continuation off the first scene she's in to me. She's definitely not all talk, and Ozai trusts her for a reason. Zuko described her as a prodigy, and we can immediately see why. It's also cool to see that she expects a lot from her men, but she also expects a lot from herself.
Almost isn't good enough.
Man, even Otto's like, oh shit, that sounds like some good lightning. Is it just me, or are the scale on these stairs super messed up? Based off the size of the building, they must be like gigantic.
I told the general I'd help him by going into the Avatar state.
Aang, no, this is not the right way.
I vibe with Aang here. I'd be totally guilted into this, 100%. Katara has her good motherly points, but as Aang puts it later, she doesn't get it. They absolutely had to have this episode and conversation too.
Or just glow it up and stop that Fire Lord.
You want to know why no one on the internet argues that Aang could have just rocked up in the Avatar state to the Fire Nation at any point? It's because of this episode. Without it, this line of reasoning would be all too reasonable, and this show would feel weaker as a whole.
Maybe I can shock you into the Avatar state.
I love surprises.
How has no one written a shitty creepypasta about this yet? Fuck, I'll do it. Hey, check it out. More Badgermole imagery in this sacred chamber place.
You are wearing a ceremonial piece of clothing from each of the bending nations.
So, the water cape, the earth palm tree hat, and he's got like this fire waist belt thing going on. I guess his regular clothes count as sacred? I think not. I bet the mud method would have worked if he was wearing Gyatso's necklace or something.
Now I will join the 4 elements into one. Water, earth, fire, air.
Aang sneezes this amount of mud off of him, but somehow it becomes enough mud to totally coat 3 other people across the room.
Look at these magnificent shells. I'll enjoy these keepsakes for years to come.
Hello, brother.
I get that Zuko's pissed to see Azula, but even Iroh's pretty like, what the fuck.com?
To what do we owe this honor?
Must be a family trait. Both of you so quick to get to the point.
Hey, yo, what the fuck, man?
He's heard rumors of plans to overthrow him. Treacherous plots. Family are the only ones you can really trust.
This is another reason I started this channel. This moment right here. You might be thinking, what moment? But you already saw it. This moment is genius. Azula is telling Zuko that his misdeeds are undone, his honor is returned, and that he's welcome to come back home. What represents Zuko's misdeeds, lack of honor, and banishment to himself? His scar. As Azula is saying these things to Zuko, what are we, the audience, being shown? We're being shown exactly what Zuko's feeling. The camera literally shows Azula taking Zuko's scar away as it disappears behind her. Fucking genius, man. That's like such a beautiful tiny moment that I've never heard anyone talk about. I love this shot. Oh my god.
After 3 long years, it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Is it just me, or does Zuko get fleeced here a little too easily? For a guy that literally has a chanting mantra for how his sister is a pathological liar, he's pretty trusting at the moment.
Azula always lies. Azula always lies.
Azula always lies. You don't know how my father feels about me. You don't know anything.
Zuko, I only meant that in our family, things are not always what they seem.
Damn, is this a loaded line? What is Iroh referencing here? You think it's how Ozai killed dear old dad and seized the throne? That's the only thing I can really think of, and Iroh must have some thoughts about that topic at the very least. Interesting that Aang sees himself in the Avatar state in his dream, but when it comes to actually brutally attacking a retreating Zuko, he sees it as himself, eyes and tattoos unlit. This probably represents the guilt he feels from actions that take place in the Avatar state while he's not in control, because he feels like it's still him that does it on some level.
Sokka, wake up. I don't think we should be trying to bring on the Avatar state.
Okay.
I love Sokka, dude. Go with the flow. Attaboy.
Okay.
Don't leave without me.
Uncle, you've changed your mind.
Family sticks together, right?
This is the first flash of a few pretty vague memories. I'll get more into them when there's more of them.
I can only reach the Avatar state when I'm in genuine danger.
I see. I was afraid you'd say that.
Well, when you put it like that, Aang. I like that you can see Aang break his fall here with a burst of wind before he hits the ground. So in this shot we see that 3 guys on ostrich horses square up on Aang, but after the commercial break, Fong jumps down with his earth wave move and none of them are to be seen. How does this cup check work, like physically? If you look at it, I don't think there's any good way Sokka hits them in the dick while his legs seem to be straight in the way they are, right? Even in the first episode you can tell that they really picked up the fight choreography. This feels a lot more like Katara versus Pakku than it feels like Zuko versus Zhao. Aang's quick and dynamic and has to think on his feet. It's pretty cool to watch. Holy shit, these bird things got hella vertical. So Fong pulls this earth disc up, right? But when he pulls Aang away, it doesn't seem like any earth was taken away from the ground. Pretty sure that there should be a hole there. Cool to see the Imperial Firebenders. We never saw a single one in season 1, but now that Azula has the royal procession with her, there's a ton of them.
You heard the princess. Raise the anchors. We're taking the prisoners home.
Your Highness,
All around me are familiar faces.
So this guy says, Your Highness, but his mouth doesn't move. Could be that he's thinking it, but it doesn't have the classic cartoon thought reverb on it. So I think they just messed this up.
You lied to me!
Like I've never done that before.
Yeah, remember how in your childhood you literally chanted about how your sister is a huge liar? Use some deductive reasoning, Zuko, come on!
What's going on?
The general's gone crazy. I made a sand sculpture of Suki and he destroyed it. Oh, and he's attacking Aang.
Why is Sokka's boomerang brown here? Yeah, see, I think this is a giant misstep from whoever choreographed this. I know we need this moment to build to Aang going crazy, but it leaves the question in the viewer's mind of why can't every Earthbender just do this and win automatically? It's similar to the Pakku thing from last season, except this one is super focused on. I think it's a bad play from the writers. All that being said, this is pretty horrifying. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't really put much thought into all these, like, cartoon violent situations, but being buried head to toe slowly without having any sand, it sounds pretty nightmarish. Oh man, these transitions too, they're so fucking cool. This is the second and last time we ever see Zuko use the fire daggers. I think it's a real shame, actually. It could have really differentiated Zuko from the other firebenders if he used this from time to time, instead of just chucking fireballs like everyone else all the time. It sucks that they made Azula scratch Zuko pretty good here, but the marks are immediately gone. Just like, don't have her scratch him, right? I'm sure this should go without saying, but Iroh was shown to redirect lightning in the storm as well, which sets up all these lightning shenanigans for this episode.
Your friend is safe!
I mean, I'm just saying, even if Katara is only underground for like 10 seconds here, this should cause like irreversible mental damage, right? She should never want to fight an earthbender again after this.
It's time you learned.
I really like that while Roku's talking, you can just see a bunch of past avatars watching. It's a cool moment. It really reminds the viewer of the long lineage of avatars that came before Aang.
In the avatar state, you are at your most powerful. But you are also at your most vulnerable.
What do you mean?
If you are killed in the avatar state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken, and the avatar will cease to exist.
This is also genius. The Avatar state not only being a mental hurdle for Aang, but a physical danger to not him, but the balance of the world itself is just inspired writing. It solidifies Aang's connection and role in the world even more, because now we know if he dies in the Avatar state, the world is permanently changed. It's not just about him, it's about the world. Like I mentioned before, a power boost is just a power boost in so many other shows, but Aang's power boost is nuanced and has earth-shattering consequences to not only him, but the rest of the world if used incorrectly. This keeps things interesting in such a cool way. It's a nice touch that Iroh and Zuko use the knife that has the inscription, "To never give up without a fight," to cut their top knots after getting away from Azula.
Never give up without a fight.
Even if they're enemies to the whole world and fugitives from their home, they're not going down easy. Another thing on this moment though, I think it works in like the weirdest of ways. It hasn't even been hinted to as what this could mean, but the cinematography and the music gets the point across that it's a big deal to our characters, that they're doing this. And I think that's all we really need to know. Like yes, I'm sure this has real world parallels and symbolism, but to the average viewer, this would probably seem pretty esoteric. But just from the filmmaking alone, we feel what our characters are feeling. And I think that's really cool. This episode is an awesome opening to book 2. The themes are more adult, the conversations are more layered, and the decisions are harder to make. Azula's introduction is great, and she just screams new villain from the start of the episode to the end. We needed someone like her, devilish and exact, after the hot-headed screaming bozo from last season. And for the first time in book 2, shout out to the patrons. If you want to be one episode ahead going forward, the newest episode of Overanalyzing Avatar is up on Patreon for just a few bucks. Biggest shout out of all to Fritz Sullivan, who I saw save a child from a burning building that one time. And of course, my lovely other top patrons. Code Canut, Derek Cornwell, DJ Jax, Do Mutual Aid, Garmer, Glintlock, Mana, Nicholas Abbott, Parker Glass, Skylo, Super Snipper, and Tiago Nascimento. Next up is a majority fan favorite, but also a somewhat disliked one in a lot of circles. What are my thoughts? Find out next time.